Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. 15-year-old St. Thomas student killed in bike crash, Pillant hospitalized. A St. Thomas teen died after the motorcycle he was driving crashed along the Prospect Main Road in the parish. He is 15-year-old Chris Miller, a student of Seaford High School and a resident of Duinipen in the parish. His Pillant has been hospitalized. The police say about 1 p.m. on Tuesday, Miller and his pillion were traveling along the Prospect Main Road behind a grey Toyota Wish motor car, both vehicles heading towards Morant Bay. The driver of the car reportedly indicated to go to the right side of the road when Miller allegedly attempted to overtake the car. The police said the bike crashed into the car before slamming into a utility pole. Miller and his pillion were rushed to the Princess Margaret Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Riches Knox mourn as pregnant woman dies in crash. In the next 5 months, 22-year-old Turan Elliott would have been a graduate from Knox Community College with a bachelor's degree in primary education, but that dream was crushed on Sunday when she and her unborn child died in a traffic accident. Family in her hometown of Riches in Clarendon are reflecting on the double blow of cruel fate as Elliott's mother passed away 2 years ago on May 16. Firefighters took approximately 30 minutes in a desperate bid to rescue Elliott as part of the metal rail along the embankment went straight through the vehicle, said Ron Powell, deputy superintendent at the Mandeville Fire Station. She was a passenger in the front passenger seat of the vehicle. The car was badly mangled, and she appeared to be unconscious at the time. Part of the rail had gone completely through the car, and she was under it, he said. Powell said that firefighters sought the assistance of bystanders to lift and remove the guardrail before cutting off the roof and side of the car to unfasten Elliott. She was pronounced dead at the Mandeville Regional Hospital. Moments earlier, Elliott, her boyfriend, and another person were traveling in a Toyota Crown motor car along Winston Jones Highway when they were reportedly hit by another vehicle that did not stop. The driver of the Toyota reportedly lost control and crashed into an embankment about 7:30 p.m. according to police reports. Stephen Williams, councillor candidate for the Riches Division, said the committee has been hit hard by the news of Elliott's tragic death. She was very quiet and jovial. As you encounter her, the first thing you see was a smile. I took it very hard because she grew up in my hands, he said in an interview with reporters. Describing her as a bright girl who had big dreams, Williams said Riches is in total mourning now. Williams used the crash death to warn motorists against recklessness on the road. Scores of people on social media, including Elliott's batchmates from high school and Knox Community College, have expressed grief at her passing. Torian was such a darling. When I heard last night, which was Sunday, I tried calling her, and when someone answered the phone and said she died, I passed out. A schoolmate from both Bishop Gibson High School and Knox, who requested not to be named, told reporters. The friend who operates a pastry operation said she was to follow up with Elliott about a cheesecake order query she made last week. This is the last thing I expect to hear. If I tell you I am okay, I would be lying. I am really not myself. I am lost out of this world, the friend said. Principal of Knox Community College, Dr. Davia Ramgi, said the institution, particularly the Year 4 Education and Liberal Studies bachelor's cohort, was grief-stricken by the tragic passing of Elliott. Tory was promising for the nation's education system and would have matriculated at the end of this semester for graduation in October 2022. We do hope that all affected parties will find solace in the time to come, she stated. Some fire stations in the west had enough water to share. A combination of rain that has kept bushfires to a minimum, no major blazes to fight, and access to other sources of water has kept fire stations in the western end of the country from feeling the brunt of the ongoing strike by the National Water Commission (NWC). Checks with stations in Trelawney, Hanover, and St. James reveal that they were all coping quite well on day 2 of the strike that has crippled other sectors of the country. They all made it clear they were available to respond to emergencies if needed. We have found that there is water in hydrants in the Wakefield and Deeside area, and the trucks can replenish in those areas. We also have the ability to go to places like Tankwell and other if the need arises, said Acting Deputy Superintendent for the Trelawney Fire Station, Coral Wilmot. In fact, they have been able to provide some of the highly sought other communities to others. We assisted our colleagues, the police, with some water as they too have been impacted by the challenges of the strike, explained the firefighter. They have the luxury, as they do not rely on the NWC supply, neither does the fire station in St. James. Right now, we are not being hampered by the strike because we have alternative sources that are not being controlled by the NWC that we can tap into, said Divisional Commander Acting Superintendent for St. James, Winsome Grant. We know our fire ground well, and based on our best practices, the fire department is not in any major crisis to attain water from firefighting, Grant assured. At the Lucy Fire Station in Hanover, Assistant Superintendent Tamara Snow told reporters that they received very few calls since the strike and they are carefully managing the use of their water supply. We have a 20,000-gallon tank at the station, and that should be able to provide us with water for a time, as long as we don't get too much incidents, she said. Make police welfare a central theme in efforts for change, says Minister Chang. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, has expressed that the welfare of police personnel is critical to delivering excellent service to citizens. Speaking at the opening session of the 3-day Caribbean Federation of Police Welfare Associations 10th Annual General Meeting at the Ocean Coral Spring Hotel in Trelawney, Chang said, whether in Jamaica or in any other jurisdiction, the police welfare plays a key role in the kind of service the lawmen give and sees the government is committed to investing in their care. We recognize the urgent need of all the members of the police force, and we have signaled our intention to work assiduously to make sure that you are not only comfortable in the workspace, but also remunerated in a way that shows our gratitude for the immense work you are doing in securing lives and property while protecting yours on the line, Chang stated. In a release, the minister stated that through strategic planning, the government has invested heavily in the physical infrastructure of the Jamaica Constabulary Force to make sure that its officers work in clean, modern, uplifting, and professional space. He added that millions of dollars have been spent on overhauling or upgrading the telecommunications infrastructure of the force, as the men and women who lead the charge against the vicious cycle of violence must be taken care of while they protect and reassure. The minister said, defeating the enemies of peace, security, and good public order rests heavily in the hands of the police force, who face danger on the granular level daily. Chang also used the occasion to thank the Jamaica Police Federation for the effort in showing care for its members over the past 2 years, especially in the light of COVID-19 pandemic. The police forces in the respective member nations have played a vital role in the execution of their duties during the many lockdowns and curfews which were made necessary at the height of the spread of the coronavirus. The value of your work can never be quantified, he stated. Police urge extra caution on Old Melrose Hill Road. With work advancing on the US $188 million Maypen to Williamsfield leg of Highway 2000, the police are urging drivers of laden trucks descending to the Old Melrose Hill Road to be extremely careful. Eastbound traffic has been diverted from the Melrose Hill bypass to Old Melrose Hill Road for the next 7 months to facilitate the construction of an interchange in the vicinity of the bypass. Head of the Mandeville Police Superintendent Lloyd Darby explained that two-way traffic will be allowed on the old road with an exception for trucks traveling uphill. We know a lot of people live along that roadway. There is a sign at Trinity that instructs that trucks should not use that road going up, but trucks will use it coming down from Mandeville, said Darby. The Melrose Hill bypass will be reverted to single-lane traffic for westbound traffic coming from Porus, Darby added. The road was built over 2 decades ago to bypass the narrow and steep accident-prone old road, which began a ghost town over time as Rosiam vendors moved to Melrosiam Park on the bypass. Darby is appealing to truck drivers to exercise caution when using the old road. They then truck on hills, whether descending or ascending right across Jamaica. Certainly in Manchester, we have a lot of hilly highways, and we would advise drivers of these heavy units to engage low gear in good time. Do not try to descend the hill at such a speed that the vehicle might get out of control, pleaded Darby. He pointed to the crash-prone Spur Tree Hill Main Road, which is located west of Melrose Hill, as an example of an area where out-of-control trucks have caused many crashes, some resulting in fatalities. We see a lot of that happening along Spur Tree Hill. The old Melrose Hill is much narrower than the Melrose Hill bypass, and we're just asking for extra care for these large units as they descend the hill, he said. Road safety experts have argued that inexperienced drivers, overweight and defective vehicles are among the main causes for crashes on the crash-prone Spur Tree Hill Main Road. According to Darby, the traffic change on Melrose Hill are for a long-term benefit, with the highway project up to last week being 72% complete. The construction of the road will benefit all in the long run, so motorists just need to be patient now. We don't want a situation where people just use the road improperly, resulting in accidents, injuries, or loss of lives. There will be a lot of changes through the months as the construction progresses, said Darby. He said members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force will be deployed to assist in the traffic diversion. We are asking motorists to observe the directions given by flag people. The police will be there, out in their numbers for the first week, as people are sensitized as to the changes. We are just asking people to be disciplined and obey the signs and instructions, said Darby. The highway project, which will reduce travel time between Kingston, Mandeville, and Points West, is fast advancing, which is expected to be completed ahead of March 2023 deadline, according to the National Road Operating and Constructing Company Limited. The contractor of the highway project, China Harbour Engineering Company, has promised that during the traffic diversion, it will upgrade the Melrose bypass to a 4-lane dual carriageway. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.